Hey there, Amy Starr here. And in this video today, I'm going to be talking about how to scale your online business. So what I mean by that is how to grow your online business as big as you want to grow it without creating extra demands on your time. I was on a mastermind today. I'm on masterminds every day of the week. We have masterminds inside of my community. And what's great is people come there to get their questions answered. And one of the questions came up today from a member of our community who wanted to know, she had just sponsored a new member into her business and she was trying to reach out to him and she wasn't getting a response from him, and she was frustrated and she didn't know what to do because he wasn't getting back to her, and asked what to do. And it just reminded me that this is a huge pitfall that needs to be addressed when it comes to building an online business. Because if you are trying to support every new member that you sponsor into your business one on one, you will create a business where you have zero freedom, number one. And number two, what you are also doing when you are chasing after your new members, trying to talk to them on the phone, is that you are demonstrating to them that you need to do one-on-one phone support with every brand new member that you bring in. And for many people, that's a turnoff because they see you doing that. And in their minds, they're thinking, well, I don't want a business where I have to spend all this time on the phone. I don't want a bunch of appointments on my calendar. I don't want to, have to do that. So before I get into this, let me just tell you like life before and life after learning this for myself. I actually started as, a home-based business entrepreneur about like 22, 23 years ago. And back then, I wasn't online yet. I was doing everything in person, right? I was in a network marketing company where I was driving to coffee shops to meet people, to show them, my business with a flip chart. And then if they wanted to join, then I would schedule a time to train them. And I was training them in person, and it would take about an hour. And so what that meant was every time I sponsored a new person into my company, I had to schedule an hour to meet with them. And it was more than an hour because I had to drive somewhere to meet them and go over everything with them. And the other piece of that was I was doing the same exact thing with every single person. I was training them in the exact same way. And it dawned on me one day that this is not time well spent. And that's when I realized that I could put systems in place so that I could share my business with people in a leveraged way, that I could train people in a leveraged way, so that I could support people in a leveraged way. And my life has never been the same. Because if we don't have these systems in place, there's only so many people that we can sponsor. And I had hit a plateau in my business where I was trying to get to the next rank in my network marketing company, and I was stopped. And I realized the reason I'm stopped is because there are only so many hours in the day. And there's only so many times you can drive to a coffee shop and show someone your business. And there's only so many times that you can do the training over and over. Not to mention, it just gets really repetitive and monotonous and not fun. And the other piece of it is when we do it that way, I couldn't sponsor people in another country because it all required me in person doing stuff with people, right? So in this day and age, we're really, really lucky because everything is online. It's so easy to leverage our business. It's so easy to leverage our time. It's so easy to scale our businesses and set things up in a way where we can grow as big as we want without creating extra demands on our time. So that's what I want to talk about in this video, because this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And when I hear a new person asking a question like that because they're frustrated because they can't get in touch with their new member, it's heartbreaking to me, because I realize, that you can't scale a business when you're chasing after people like that. And this goes for any business. It doesn't even matter if you're bringing in members or if you have some other type of business where you're just bringing in customers. We can't be chasing after every customer that we have because it takes too much time, and it's not necessary. If we have the right systems in place, it's not necessary because we can actually provide better support for people using systems than we can doing it one-on-one anyway. So this is what I want to show you in this video. I'm going to show you some of the things that I have in place in my business that you can put in place in your business, any business, to make your life a lot easier and to actually provide better support for your new people, your new customers, your new members, whoever it is that you're supporting, you can provide better support for them using systems in the way that I'm going to show you in this video than you can doing it one-on-one. And I know that for a lot of people, that's hard to wrap your head around because you feel like, they need me, they need me to hold their hand. And it's actually not true. When we hold people's hands and try to enable them, we don't empower them to, do the work on their own. But the other thing is, a lot of times, you might be brand new in your business and a new person comes in and you aren't even really qualified to give them the best support that you can possibly give them. So it's better to plug them into systems and leverage that's already built in for you where they can get better support than they can get from just you. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So I've always been a big fan of build it and they will come. I like to have things set up. I know a lot of people think, well, I'm not sponsoring a lot of people yet, so I still have time to do one-on-one support in my business. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I've always been of the mindset where I want to set myself up so that my business is scalable from the start, so that I have ways to plug people into what they need right away that doesn't demand my time, so that I can, show the universe that I'm ready. I'm ready to, if I want to sponsor 10 people, 20 people in a day, I'm ready to do that because I have the time to do that. I don't have to have one-on-one conversations with every single person. So I've always been a big believer in putting things in place even before it feels like we necessarily need them, because it shows that you're expecting your business to grow, right? So I know that's a little woo-woo for some people, but that's the way that I've always operated. Is I know, like, if I'm showing the universe that I'm ready to sponsor a lot of people, then the chances of me sponsoring a lot of people are greater. And I've always been able to do that in all of the businesses that I've had. So I know that this works, not to mention it's easier to set the systems up before we have, all of these new people coming in that we feel like we need to support, because we have more time in the beginning before that starts to happen. So if we get everything in place, now it becomes easy. Now all we have to focus on is our marketing. And when we sponsor a new person or bring in a new customer, we can easily plug them into what we have already set up and continue with our marketing. We're not wasting our time trying to do one-on-one onboarding with every single person, okay? So I have 3 main ways that I leverage my business, that I scale my business. 3 things, okay? And I'm going to go into each of those here, and I'm going to give you a little more detail about each one. The first one is I have an onboarding process. I have an onboarding sequence that I put people through, which makes it really, really easy for me when I sponsor a new person, when I bring in a new member or customer or whatever. All I have to do is one thing. All I have to do is add them to my onboarding sequence, which takes about 2 seconds. And from there, they're going to get every single thing that they need. They're going to get a series of emails from me over the first week that they're in, where I'm going to be plugging them in to everything that they need to know. I'm going to show them how to plug into the community, how to find the training that they need, how to access me, which I'll talk about more in a second because I do that in a leveraged way as well. I'm basically, dripping out a series of emails to them to set them up in a really powerful way, in a better way than I could do on a one-on-one call anyway. Okay. And just so you know, I have a whole video right here on my YouTube channel where I go into my exact onboarding process, and it goes into every detail about, my emails and how I do that. Okay, so I'm not gonna lay that all out for you right now, but I am gonna say that I have an onboarding process that takes me about 2 seconds per person that joins. I'm also gonna show you in a minute how now, because of some other new systems that have been put in place in my business, how that can actually be streamlined so it takes 0 seconds to onboard a new person. And this is really, really cool. So I'm going to show you that in a second. If you want to watch that onboarding video that I made to get more detail about my process, you can check it out here, and that'll go into more detail. So all I'm really going to say about my onboarding process right now is that, so I've got a Google Doc with these emails on it because when people join my team, this is one of the things that you get as a bonus from me is, I'm going to give you my onboarding emails in case you want to use them for yourself. Because again, I'm a huge believer in being able to scale, and this will just make it easier if you just want to like kind of use my emails and edit them to work for you. So I have this Google Doc that anybody can copy and paste into their email autoresponder. I've got a little orientation video here at the top where, if somebody clicks on this, it takes them to a video that's going to explain exactly how to set this up. But the cool thing is, once it's set up, you're done. Like your system is in place. And now every time you bring in a new member, they're going to get these emails from you. And so I have this loaded into my autoresponder. I use Aweber, and I just have a sequence loaded in called onboarding. And when I sponsor a new person, all I have to do is take their name and their email address and add it to that list in my autoresponder, and these emails automatically go out. And it tells them exactly what they need to know about everything that's going on and how to get plugged in. And there's several days worth of emails, and they're spread out with a day in between. So for the first week that they're, here, they're going to be hearing from me every day. They're going to know that I'm here, and I'm letting them know how to work with me, how to find me, and the reality is we have masterminds every day inside of my community. So there's plenty of support, and I can send my new members to those masterminds. I'm letting them know how to access those masterminds so that they can easily go there and get support. But I'm also on those masterminds. Like those are my office hours. And that way I can be available. I'm very available for my people, by the way. I just don't set myself up to have to do everything one-on-one, because again, not only would I have zero freedom in my life if I was doing that, but I'm also demonstrating to people that that's what they would have to do. And a lot of people don't want to do that or can't even do it. They have a full-time job. They don't have time to do one-on-one support. So this onboarding sequence is a godsend for me. It literally just gives everybody everything that they need, tells them how to get plugged in, tells them, where to get their questions answered, how to find me. And it just, all I have to do is add them to it. So my onboarding sequence is the very first piece of the equation for me. And this is something that I just want to mention because this is a new addition that has made this even easier, to where you don't even have to add somebody's name and email address anymore to the autoresponder sequence inside of the platform that I use, because it is set up. So, this is my primary business, HBA, and we have a new emailer set up. So it automatically creates these lists for us for each of the products that we have inside of our company. And we have one for all active customers. And so when somebody purchases a product, they're automatically added to these lists of customers. And so instead of having to add their name and email address over in my Aweber account, what we can do in here now is, if I come under the autoresponder and click new sequence, I can add like an onboarding sequence here. And I can pick which list I want to select, and I can say like all active customers. So this is, when somebody joins anything, buys any product inside of my business, they're going to get this onboarding sequence. That's what that's saying. And then I can create the sequence, and I can take that same Google Doc that I just showed you and load those emails in here. And so what's so cool about this is now it's all automated. Now, when someone joins my business, I don't even have to add their name and email address anymore, because they're automatically going to be added, and this sequence is automatically going to go out. How cool is that? So this new emailer was just recently added inside of our company, and it's amazing. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it here, but I did just create a video that goes into a whole overview about it. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave that for you here as well. But like I was saying, the onboarding sequence makes things so much quicker. Even, if you have a different business outside of HBA and you don't have access to a system like this, you can still do it with your third-party autoresponder service simply by adding the name and email to the specific list that has your emails in it, and then they'll automatically get your onboarding sequence. And again, I have a video that goes over the whole onboarding process in more detail, so you can check that out if you want more detail about exactly how to do that. So the second thing that I have in place that really helps me to leverage my time and support my members at the same time is I have a Facebook group specifically for my members and customers. So in my welcome sequence, in my onboarding sequence that I just showed you, I'm letting people know how to get access to this Facebook group because it's a private group that's just for my members. And it's a bonus that I provide when people join with me. They get access to this group, and I'm in this group every day. So this is where I can support my members very easily every single day. And it's a place where people can come and ask questions. And what's awesome is when I answer somebody's question, it benefits everybody in there. Everybody can see it. So here's an example of a question that just came in. She wanted to know how to add a member to her membership site or course for free if she wants to provide somebody a free membership or a free access to her course or whatever. So I shot a quick video to show how to do it, and other people were interested in learning about that. So they're saying thank you. So rather than answering every question one-on-one in an email, I can answer the questions in this group so that if somebody else has that question, it's already handled, it's already answered. And what's cool about that is if the question comes in again down the road, like say somebody joined 6 months from now and they didn't know this video was here, but they asked the question, I can just point them back to this video. So I don't ever have to repeat myself and answer the same questions over and over like I was doing back in the day, like I was saying when I was training people and answering their questions. And it was over and over, very repetitive. Now I'm doing it in a leveraged way. It benefits more than just the person answering the question. And then that answer remains there so that I can refer back to it if needed. If somebody else has a question later down the road and, didn't see my answer, I can just refer them back to it. And in this Facebook group, I'm just providing updates. I'm reminding people about, we had a mastermind last night. I'm reminding people about that and telling them what's going on the mastermind tonight. I'm welcoming my new members in. I'm reminding them, I don't usually put my YouTube videos in here, but every once in a while, because I made this video about our new email system and I wanted to make sure that all my members were aware of how incredible it is. And so I said, hey, check this video out if you missed the mastermind and you didn't get the full overview about it. Here's a video about it. And you can see here's the original question that came in about, in membership, can you set it up so that it's free, but you can invite someone or send them the credentials? So that video that I made above, this was the original question. And I did answer it here, but I just went back and created a standalone post so that video would be there in the group, because not everybody's going to read through this thread, especially if they don't have the question right now. But now I've got a video in the group, so later on, if somebody else asks a similar question, it's easy to find that video. So this Facebook group is amazing. It's a great way to just, again, leverage my support and the way that I support my team. It also creates community inside of my group. Every time I bring in a new member, I'm welcoming them in. The rest of the community is welcoming them in. So this Facebook group provides a lot of leverage for me in my time. If somebody forgets, or if they're new and they haven't plugged into the Facebook group yet and they email me asking me a question, which does happen from time to time, all I do is I direct them back to this Facebook group. I just say I prefer to answer questions in my Facebook group because this way everyone benefits. And I also just don't want people to think that they have to do one-on-one support via email, because it will take up a lot of your time. Unless you have an assistant or somebody, if you want to go that route and you want to field a bunch of emails, that's up to you. But I like doing things with leverage, right? So this Facebook group it creates a lot of freedom for me in my life. So this is the second piece of the equation for me. And then the third piece of the equation is for me is that I do a group coaching call every week for my all-in members, for the people that are fully committed to their business here. They own all the products. They're set up to earn the maximum amount of commissions. For those people, I do free group coaching every single week. So it's a Zoom call and we all get on there and I check in individually with each person to find out what they have going on, what's happened over the last week, what I can support them with. And everybody gets as much support as they need from me there. So again, I'm providing a huge amount of support for people, but I'm doing it in a group setting so that I'm not having to jump on Zoom with every single person and help them. But I can jump on and just check in with everybody. And people love this call because we do have masterminds inside of the company every day of the week. We have 2 on Monday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and then the rest of the days we have them at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have our traffic and conversions mastermind where people can learn from different people each day of the week. I'm actually teaching in there on Thursdays as well, but we have different people teaching each day of the week their different marketing strategies, and people can ask questions. But what's different about my group coaching is that it's a more intimate mastermind. And rather than people just watching and learning and maybe asking, a few people will ask a question, on my masterminds, everybody has a voice. Everybody shares what they're doing and gets their support in a group setting. So everybody has really gotten to know each other, can support each other, can cheer each other on. And we all just really learn from the different things that each person is doing. And again, I can provide individualized support for each one of my members, but it's just for a small block of time on one Zoom call per week. So again, it's leverage. So I'm still 100% here for my team. I'm just doing it in a way that A, helps me build my business as big as I want while still having freedom in my life, and B, demonstrates to my members how they can do the same thing. Because I don't want my people to think that they have to do one-on-one support with every person. Because even if you make a lot of money, you won't have any freedom if you do that. And you won't make as much money because you can only grow so much if you're needing to provide one-on-one support throughout the life of your business. Once we have systems in place, we can grow as big as we want. I'm set up right now. I could sponsor 100 people in a day, every day of the week, and I'm good. It won't take me very long to plug them into my onboarding sequence. And by the way, the onboarding sequence plugs them into my Facebook group. It tells them about this mastermind that I do for my all-in members. So the onboarding sequence covers everything, right? So I don't have to explain any of this to anybody. All I have to do is plug them into the onboarding sequence, and that handles plugging them into all of this, okay? Another thing that's amazing that we have as part of our system inside of my HBA back office that I also use is we have a sponsor message. So this is another way that we can leverage our time and provide a message to our new members. So every time a new member joins, they get a pop-up with my sponsor message. So I'll show you what it looks like. We can put in, a video URL here and say whatever we want down below it, right? So if I preview it, a new member joins, this is what happens. They log in for the first time and there's a message from their sponsor, and there's me, right? And in this video, I'm also telling them, make sure you check your email because you should have gotten a welcome email from me. And in that email, you're going to get taken over to my welcome page where I will give you all of my bonuses and I'll give you an orientation and tell you your next steps, right? So I'm letting them know, go check your email. I'm also letting them know that, for my all-in members, I do this mastermind. And I also have a course that is also a bonus for my all-in members. So if you want access to my course, it's a $1,200 course. It's free for my all-in members. So if you want access to that course, just let me know because it's on a request basis. I don't want to just put people in the course if they don't want it, right? So I'm just letting them know that in this video, welcoming them to the community and letting them know, your only next step is to go check your email because there's an email there waiting for you from me. And then here is where, down below you can say, I say, be sure and check your email and look for an email from me. It's my welcome email and we'll give you access to my team Facebook group and my unadvertised bonuses. To learn more about my course, the Freebie Funnel Method, which is a free bonus for my all-in members, click here. If you'd like to access to it, just let me know. I'm so glad you're here. And if they click here, it just takes them over to learn more about my course so that they can see what it is. And then if they want it, they can let me know and I'll put them in for free. So, these are things that we can do to just put systems in place so that onboarding a new person does not have to be one-on-one. And when that question came up today, I was thinking about, especially in a platform like what we have here, there's no reason to be doing any of that chasing people around because there's stuff like this in place where we can just so easily get in front of our new member and say, hi, welcome. And here's how, you can get plugged in. You can set this up however you want. And then the other cool thing that we can do inside of here is we can send messages. We have a messenger inside of our platform as well. And what's really cool about this is we can send messages to individual people on our team, but we can also send messages to all of our customers or all of our all-in customers. So on the nights when I do my mastermind, I can send out a message to all of my people that are all in, reminding them about our mastermind and giving them the Zoom link or whatever I want to do right here inside of here. So it makes it, again, it's all leveraged. So if you have people on your team and you want to provide some additional support in some way, or you're offering like a Zoom call or something, you can just message them all here. You don't have to chase after people one-on-one. You can do it all right here, which is amazing. And what's really cool about it too is that this little microphone, and you can do this on your phone as well, you can send out a message, an audio message, which is amazing. So like, for example, I sent out a message to my team the other morning while I was walking on the beach. I just clicked the little, audio thing, and I was just sharing something that I wanted to share with my team right there, doing an audio message, and then I just click send. And then it sends them a message, and it even adds their first name. So it looks like a personalized message. And the other thing that's even like next level that this thing does is it not only sends them a message inside of our app, like you see here, they'll get a notification telling them that they have a message from me. But just in case they didn't see that, it also sends them an email letting them know that they have a message from me. And then they can click on that to listen to my message. So really awesome. So many ways to leverage ourselves. I happen to be a part of this company that keeps adding all of this stuff that just makes it even easier to leverage ourselves. And I feel really grateful about that, because this is something that I've always been very, very, very passionate about and adamant about, because my goal, the reason that I'm in a business that creates residual income, is because I want freedom in my life. And, just to give you some examples, I travel a lot, for personal reasons, to go hang out with my 86-year-old uncle and help him out, or to visit friends. I go on retreats sometimes where I'm just like not really available at all. And it's nice to know that I can do that, and know that while new people are coming in, when I'm unplugged, that I have systems in place that can still support them even though I'm off doing my own thing, right? So for that reason, I feel, it's really important for me to have leverage in my business so that I can have freedom in my life. And regardless of what your lifestyle is, I still feel like having leverage in your business so that you can scale as big as you want, even if you have all the time in the world and you don't mind talking on the phone and, having all kinds of appointments on your calendar. I still think it's important to set yourself up in a way that you can easily scale your business so that you don't have a cap on how big you can grow or how much income that you can earn. So I hope that this has been helpful. These are some of the ways that I set myself up for leverage in my business and my life. And if you want to learn more about, how I'm able to live job free and work from anywhere in the world using leverage like this, I will leave a link below this video so that you can learn more about how I do it and how I can help you do it as well. And if you want to learn more about this particular system and how you can be a part of this company, it's incredible. We have an amazing community. We have the best training on the planet when it comes to learning how to market. And we have a brand new turnkey system in place that is also helping people leverage their time, because they've built this system where it's turnkey. Like, you have a capture page where it'll generate leads for you and put them right here in your back office in the emailer and the autoresponder for you. And then it'll automatically send follow-up emails out on your behalf, written by one of our founders, who happens to be like an amazing copywriter, and he wrote an incredible ebook about residual income shortcuts that, people get for free also when they opt in. And this system is converting really well. So we're seeing a lot of brand new people getting results in their business, making sales, some of them for the first time ever, because this system has just made it so easy. And so if you'd like to learn more about that system or just what we have here, you'll get a whole overview of all of it if you just click through on my turnkey system below. You can put your name and email in there. You'll get all the emails, you'll get the ebook, and you'll see everything, how that works. And if you decide you want to use that system and put that in place for yourself, you'll be able to do that as well. We have 4 products here. They all pay 80% commission, and 3 of them are residual income commission. So they recurring commissions that come in month after month. So this is a great place to create some extra income if you just need some extra income on the side, or if you just want to create a full-time income like I've done. It's because of the 80% commissions, it's a very generous payout, and it makes it, especially with all these systems and leverage and things in place now to make it really easy even for newbies. I can't say enough good things about it. I've been here for 7.5 years. This is where I hang my hat. Like I said, I've been an online entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I've never found anything like this. And I'm just really proud to be here. So if you want to learn more about it, I'll leave a link below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always happy to answer questions. If you decide you want to join our community, I look forward to seeing you inside and helping you along your journey. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.